There were big changes going on at A-Leaf Hastings High School in the school year of 1998-1999. That high school, where the defendant coached, had just gotten a new ninth grade center. And there were several teachers that got housed in the ninth grade center, one of whom was this defendant. Another of whom was a new young teacher by the name of Heather Scott. She was young, she was single, and frankly, she was smoking hot.
Heather Scott had grown up in Little Rock, Arkansas. She had gone to college in Texas, and that year she was teaching ninth grade English.
The teachers at their school would go out for drinks. They were friendly, they would flirt with each other, as young people will do. And one thing led to another.
Now, eventually, did you observe that there was something more between Heather and the defendant?
Yes, there was a Halloween party, and I noticed that they were getting closer. I would see him a little more often, and I think a couple of times he came over to our townhouse.
David Temple was always after the big prize. Even though he was married, even though he had one child and another on the way, Heather Scott was now the trophy.
He seemed to be very fond of her.
Of course, there was some lust and infatuation, but Heather was sought after by not just David, but by other teachers.
A real-life Texas soap opera is now playing out in the faculty lounge. There's suddenly a love triangle between Heather, Quentin, and David.
Quentin was also married, but he too had a little thing for the hot new teacher.
Did you become intimate with Heather Scott?
We kissed.
Was that as far as it went?
Yes, sir.
During the holiday season, things really started getting heated up between David and Heather, and things also got rather serious.
Did you become aware that their relationship had progressed into a sexual relationship?
Yes.
After things had progressed, the defendant called Quentin and said he needed to talk to him right away.
David asked me what my intentions were with Heather. I told him I didn't know. He said, "Are you willing to leave your wife for her?" And I said no. And so then I asked him, are you willing to leave yours for Heather? And he said, I don't know.
Belinda had a twin sister named Brenda. And that December, they were both going to turn 30, so Brenda came to visit.
Did their interactions seem the same as you had seen in the past, or did they seem different?
It was a lot more tense. I heard Belinda say that you weren't happy having this baby girl. And he said, if you say that again, and I looked up at him, and they didn't say anything else.
On Belinda's birthday, David announces he's got big plans for New Year's, but Belinda's not involved in those plans.
He said he was going hunting.
How did Belinda hear from that?
She was upset. I think he needed to be home.
All of a sudden, David Temple is going hunting. And of course, if you're Belinda, you're going, what?
David's wife is pregnant, about to have a second child. But yet he leaves to go on a trip during the New Year's weekend. Does that sound like a man who's happy that he's about to have a second child and wants to look after his family?
It sounds like a man who's having an affair.
Time's getting close. We're coming up on it. There it is. It's beginning to drop.
She doesn't know where he's at. She doesn't know where he's going, and she is hurt.
Happy 1999!
That New Year's trip, that was all nothing but a big lie.
The only hunting David Temple was doing was he was hunting down Heather Scott for a very nice romantic liaison weekend. That's where David Temple went hunting.
He said that he had his hunting gear and gun in the car so that she would think he was hunting. He said that she wasn't stupid.
We decided that we were going to go to Katie to this favorite restaurant that we like, Los Cucos. And we went in, and David and Belinda were sitting across the room with Evan. They did not look happy. And I looked at my husband and I said, I wonder if something's wrong. They got ready to leave, She hugged me and she was rubbing her belly and, and saying, I'm so excited, for this little girl to be born, and I've got 2 more weeks. And she hugged me again, and that was the last time I saw her. I'm sorry.
Students at Katy High School are in disbelief. Friends, family, and colleagues are grief-stricken over her violent death.
Funeral services for Temple will be held in Katy later this week.
As Belinda Temple was laid to rest, her students remembered the lesson of kindness she taught inside and outside the classroom.
People were stunned in this community by this murder. And David is talking to his friend, a fellow coach, Quentin Harlan.
So it's like, well, don't you want to find out like who killed her? And he said, what difference is it going to make? It won't bring her back.
Do those sound like the words of a grieving husband?
It could. That could be a statement of a grieving husband trying to figure out what was going on with his life.
But in the days after Belinda was killed, David was actually talking about Heather a lot.
He asked me how Heather was. Is she doing okay?
Now keep in mind, your wife was murdered, your unborn child murdered, and you're going around asking your colleagues, how is Heather doing?
After Belinda is found dead, it doesn't take long for cops to find out there was a sex affair.
That's going to be an aha moment. You have pregnant wife dead and husband having an affair. There's no question. They have to be looking at him as a possibility.
David insists to virtually everybody that he is not having a full-blown affair.
Even though Temple says it's only physical, he also says it wasn't serious enough for him to commit a murder to get Heather Scott. That's odd.
Please state your name.
Heather Scott Temple.
He married her.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.